Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Collaborate and Inspire session at the Open BIM and buildingSMART Summit. It's really an honor to be here with such an inspiring group of professionals, innovators, and leaders who are shaping the future of Open BIM and the built environment. My name is Renee Jain. I'm the Digital Engineering General Manager at Lendlease. I lead an amazing team of digital engineers who are implementing what we call IDD. You've heard a lot about that this morning. I'm also a member of Women in BIM and a huge advocate for what Women in BIM does to champion and support females in the industry. This morning, Women in BIM signed a memorandum of understanding with buildingSMART. And so very excited to be here with you. And I've been learning a lot, and I'm encouraged to support the industry further in our journey with Open BIM. Really, the built environment, like many industries, has been undergoing a digital revolution with Open BIM and smart technologies at the core of that transformation. But Open BIM is really more than just about standards and processes. It's really a movement that we've heard all through today about greater collaboration, interoperability, and inclusivity in how we design, construct, and manage the built world. It's really about the power of collaboration and diversity. At its heart, Open BIM is about breaking down silos, fostering seamless data integration between teams, disciplines, and software platforms. But beyond technology, true innovation comes from people, from diverse teams working together, sharing knowledge, and driving change. So in this afternoon session, we'll explore how diversity and cultural influence really are shaping the way we design, build, and inspire the next generation of sustainable and more intelligent buildings. So first, we'll hear from two speakers on how collaboration and innovation are shaping the future of design and construction, followed by an all-female panel discussion. Very excited to have all these ladies here, where panelists will share their insights on really the evolving role of Open BIM in their work, how interdisciplinary and multicultural teams are working together, how Open BIM can drive better project outcomes, and some of the challenges that they've been facing with Open BIM. We'll touch a little bit on the future of emerging technology and what that means for these kind of workflows, as well as just practical strategies to foster a more inclusive and collaborative ecosystem. But ultimately, it's really a call to action, whether you're a BIM manager, a digital director, architect, engineer, contractor. I encourage you to engage in this session because real innovation happens when we collaborate and inspire one another. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome a very passionate leader who's driving digital transformation in the built environment, Siti Norman. Siti Norman's the director of digital at Turner & Townsend in Singapore. She leads teams implementing not just BIM, but digital twin strategies and end-to-end digital solutions for clients. Since joining Turner & Townsend in 2020, she's quickly established herself as a trusted digital advisor. Beyond her professional role, Siti is deeply committed to education and mentorship. She serves as a lecturer at Singapore Poly and is an active member of Women in BIM. She has a true passion for problem solving and creative solutions, and she leverages technology to deliver significant value to organizations. So I look forward to hearing more from her on collaboration and innovation. So please put your hands together and give Siti a warm welcome.
Thanks, Renee. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Last session, so I will make this boring. Okay, so I'm Siti Norman. I'm a director at Turner & Townsend, leading digital for Singapore as well as Asia. Today, I would like to talk about something very close to my heart, which is collaboration to innovate, empowering women in the digital built environment, because for myself and then also for my fellow female colleagues in this industry. So for those of you who do not know me or we haven't been introduced, allow me to share my journey. I think everybody loves a Gantt chart. You can tell which industry I'm from. So my journey began in 2006. I was just a CAD draftsman fresh out of school. And as you can see, I worked all the way up. You can also guess my age from here. So when I started, I didn't really have any ambitions. I just wanted to stay employed. But along the way, I have made friends, I've made allies, mentors and sponsors who helped me advance my career and prep me to be the leader that I am today. So what kept me in the industry, you would ask? It's not easy. I know a few of my classmates that I graduated with who have actually moved on to other things. So I think we were a cohort of maybe 10 and only two of us remain in the industry. The rest did something else. Um, Also, take for granted I didn't continue to be an architect. That was what I was studying for, but I pivoted into digital, much more interesting and a lot more varied, and I found purpose, and that's what made me stay, because I truly enjoy what I did, what I do, and it made me be okay with all of the challenges that came with it as a woman in this industry. To top it off, I'm also very good at what I do. So however, I did not do this alone, right? I had this very big thing called community. Um, and the community is actually a very important part for us as women in the industry, because it contributed to my longevity to have a career here in this industry, because the nature of our work involves multiple parties, as well as, and if you want to have a career as long as I have, or anyone else in the industry, you would have made some friends, and then those friends probably grew with you as a career, and you have a bunch of, a small group to lean on when you're having difficulties, or just someone to just shoot some ideas to see whether it would work or not. So yeah, I do lean on their support, and I think for women in this industry to have a community is actually quite important. So collaboration is the lifeblood of BIM, which is mainly what I do. And it necessitates the seamless integration for everyone else, like architects, engineers, our contractors, as well as our clients, right? Which is very important. So when we have all of these diverse perspectives, we see and enhance problem solving, as well as project outcomes. I always emphasize to have a varied group working with me on a project, as well as the team that I would form, because no one wants to listen to me all the time. I mean, it's quite fun to have a different perspective, and also to have a bit of a discourse is actually quite healthy in the project. And then, everybody wants the best for the project and for the client, and I think that also provides a good outcome in the end. So in my career, I observed that, projects that embrace collaborative methodologies experience fewer errors and also a better working experience, because we're not fighting all the time, because it's not personal, right? We're trying to solve a problem. And so the process begins like this, in a very friendly way, like, hey, I have an idea, can I run it by you? And then after that, you would say, okay, we found the problem. How can we solve for this? And then you would iterate a couple of solutions. And then from there, you find the impact. So for this, how fast can we work? So what took us 12 weeks before now takes 2 weeks. So that's the impact. And I wouldn't have gotten here if I did it all by myself, right? It all came out from the collaboration that I did with my colleagues and my partners in the project. So I would like to share a story of where did this come from. So in this instance, what happened for me is, so I have a colleague, her name is Helen, she's head of sustainability, and we were actually working on a side project separately. So we were playing around with the 3D scan of our office, and we were testing two different use cases. So for her, she's trying to identify materials of an already built space for high-level embodied carbon calculation. But for me, I was just trying to convert the 3D scan and just, testing myself, how fast can I actually convert this into a 3D model so that I can get it to like a concept design, space iteration planning for the client. But in the middle of all this, I saw an opportunity, because what she's doing is super manual. So I was thinking, hey, can we merge both of our work streams? So we tested it out. So after I converted the model, we added all of the parameters that she would need to do her embodied carbon calculation. And then from there, we try out certain parameters to see what works well. And then the result, as you can see here, is just a set of requirements of what she would need to create that. And then from there, we actually created a report that has carbon and cost at the same time. So we just call it currency, because it should be in the same, because Turn and Townsend were known as cost managers. And if we wouldn't be able to do that, then it would be a missed opportunity. So now from here, we have started to create a set of parameters where if we were to implement BIM on a project and the client also hires us as cost managers, we're able to give them this report right out of the gate. And then as we progressively develop the model, we can have both embodied carbon and operational carbon directly from the BIM model as well. So manually, it would take her 12 weeks. So that was the matrix that came out earlier. So to do that manually, it would take her 12 weeks all by herself. But now it takes her 2 weeks. I think we have perfected this process, and it actually took us a couple of days because we already have certain libraries already set. And with that, after a while, it just became quite natural for her to do this, and then we're able to get this pretty quick. And we're not really a large team between, we did this just myself, Helen, as well as a graduate. So this is, we collaborated on this process, we innovated, and now we have created a process for us to be able to do this for ourselves as well as our clients. So that's the impact. So how does Open BIM comes into play? As you can see, BIM is very visual. It's good for design iterations, but the real value actually comes from the data from our BIM models actually. And if you use proprietary products, sometimes it's difficult to get the actual data that you want, and then you're going to do some scripting and all that. So that's where Open BIM comes into play. So it ensures interoperability across all systems. We facilitate all of this seamless data exchange throughout the project lifecycle. So now it's embodied carbon plus 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 from just the set of parameters, right? So if you work backwards, you just have to ask yourself, what data do I need to report? And then you go back to the parameters, and then those parameters goes into your BIM standards. And then if you deploy it across all projects, you would get the same results. No matter where you are in the world, whichever vendor you're working with, you would get the same data sets because you're always going to be reporting in the same thing. Will it take time? Yes. Will it take some training and mentorship? Yes. But I think we're all on this journey, and if it benefits everyone, I think it's a worthwhile time to be investing in everyone. So in the future, you create better colleagues, and then you get better results if you work with them again in the future. So embracing Open BIM is more than just a technical decision. It's a commitment to a collaborative ethos that drives efficiency and fosters innovation, because now we're not just trapped in our BIM authoring mind. Now it's beyond, right? So what else? So as you're figuring out what else, you also tend to innovate, because then you don't just act in the capacity of, say, a BIM model or BIM manager. You're now someone else. So for myself, I've also started training my project managers as well as my cost managers and QSs to work in this way, the younger ones. It also helps with talent retention, because now a traditional role has some digital value add type of things. It's very interesting because what you're doing today might change next year, just depending on what kind of data you can get and what you can report on. So it keeps everyone on their toes, and again, collaborate also, and then to innovate. So it also answers to the number one skeptical question that we get countless times in our career: how will BIM benefit me? Sometimes I kind of always like to ask that. Then you have to justify it, like, oh, clash detection and all of this. But now it's others. So it's benchmarking against project budget, benchmarking against your whole entire asset portfolio. Why? Because now we have a way to collect the data and we can report on it. And when we can report on it, you can always benchmark and track its performance. So that's how far you can get just by checking on data. And this leads us to diversity. you can only get here if there's some kind of diversity. And when I talk about diversity, it's not just one dimension. We need to think out of the box. Um, I think because we're in Asia, it's people haven't caught on yet with the diversity aspect. So here, I would like to say that it's not just gender; it's everything. With open beam, it also adds the dimension of the diversity of tools that you actually use, because not one tool can give you everything that you need. Sometimes you got to try something else, and sometimes that's another journey as well. You will take you a couple of tries to find the exact tool that you would need, because again, we don't really have direct access to the software makers. So you would have to have some engagement with them, have some wish lists. If they are able to work with you, maybe they can develop something for that. So for that, yeah, so it's not a really a reflection of our world that we live in. So we're not just one people, right? It's not a homogeneous type of society. So the world should reflect in also the way that we work every day. However, today our focus is about women in the industry. So let's carry on. So how do we empower women in the industry? I think in Asia, we have a bit of catching up to do. Uh, Used to be I would be the only woman in the room, and then it will be very awkward. Even today, there are still some rooms that I enter in where I'm still the only woman in the room. So I definitely would like to see more girls and more women to join me in this industry. So I did say community is one of the things that keeps us around. Uh, and it still holds true today, especially if somebody decides to go have a family, and when they come back, it's actually quite difficult to catch up. So if you had a community, we could actually prepare each other before we actually start. So as women, there are unique challenges that we face in the industry every day, but if we had community and we have someone that can help us to navigate the situation, I think it would help someone along the way. So how do we break all of these barriers? I think there are a few things. Find allies in wherever that you are. If there are challenges, do address it. I am an advocate of having agency for yourselves. Don't be afraid to call something out. We are in 2025. We all have a voice, so let's use it. And then, if there are any strategies of how to navigate the challenges that you're facing, please do share. Make it normalize that you have problems and that you need some helping hand. So please don't think that you're in this alone. You have someone. So please voice out. Mentorship is also pretty key. Something that I would like to point out is to get a male and female mentor if you're a woman, because while it's easier to get a male mentor, I feel like personally for myself, I've had a few male mentors, but to find a female mentor is within this industry is actually quite difficult. I actually had to go outside of the industry to find a female mentor who can give me some insights of how it is to be a leader generally. And then after that, I had to go and learn for myself how to be a leader in this industry. So for me, I had to take on that journey because I'm quite stubborn like that. But today you know me. So if anyone needs help or needs some views or just a chat, I'm here. I'm offering myself up as a mentor through Women in BIM as well. And then lastly, I think it's peers. Again, don't do this alone. So we all need peers, because there will be times where it's just so difficult and you would think that, oh, this is the first time I'm doing this for myself. But actually, there are others who have been through that already. And then they can give you the support. Sometimes it's just, oh, I know this guy, go have a chat with them. Or, there's a group somewhere that is interested in this particular software that you do, like a hobby group. And then your world opens up. So I know as women it's difficult for us to open our mouths and ask for help, but do make it a habit to do that. So the strategies in which we can collaborate and inspire to foster the kind of collaboration and inspire innovation. in some organizations, it can be quite difficult because maybe it's not part of the culture. But I think as women, what we can do is we can just open up the floor to have these kind of conversations. For myself, my strategy is just have chats, just have informal chats at first before bringing it into a forum where it's a lot more formal. Uh, don't be afraid to argue because everyone has different opinions, but I'm sure we can find a common ground somewhere. And I actually enjoy arguments because it not only tells me that I'm not right all the time, but it's also nice to have a different point of view. Maybe it won't be applicable at this point in time, it can be applicable at a later time. That's what I find. um, for everyone else in the room, practice active listening, because sometimes when we are having discourse, you would just want to get your point across, but it's also to have a collaborative environment as well as to innovate. We all need to listen to one another and then find that spark. It's like, oh, I like what you're doing, so let's try that, and then maybe we'll merge it with this. So that's what encourages that innovative spirit. And then any kind of best practices, do just share it. So 39,000 is a global company, so any best practices that we find in any corner of the world, we usually share it across. So having a network of your tapping within your global network in your company is also something that can be quite powerful. And then in terms of technology, I think my tips would be to try everything. um, I do this through paid trials. So you can't get everything for free. Yeah. So to make it fair, do a paid trial. Try everything. Try until you find your best suite of tools. So some suite of tools that you can always use to get you to the baseline. And anything specialized, keep it in your back pocket, like a menu. Because different projects would require different things. And I guess that's how I found my niche. I know exactly the solution to your problem because I've tried all. And then I can also tell you why this tool is not the one you need, is the other one. So that way you have a varied tool, but you also have kind of like this menu item, like, oh, if it's a bigger budget, then I can go here this direction. But if I'm tight, I can also use this and get the same results. So that way you're very flexible and you can scale up and down very quickly because, again, you've tried everything. And then consider the data that you are collecting and consuming, because they are kind of related, but then it also put you into this mindset of who else am I working with? Because if that data is not meant for you, it could be meant for them. uh, BIM is very collaborative, so always find ways to help the other person. And the last thing is culture. So yeah, I did mention leverage on your network, because you never know who knows something or someone. Introduce the concept of side quest. So if it's very difficult for you and your team to start this innovative culture, that's one of the tactics that I use on my team. I would introduce side quests. It wouldn't take us weeks. I would probably just say, this is a side quest, probably take us 1 hour out of our days, but we will dedicate this 1 hour to just try and find a solution for this thing. And then usually it's pretty quick. By the time like 3 weeks or 4 weeks is gone, we probably come up with a solution. And we do this almost all the time because there's always problems to solve. And then invest in the time to know your team. So for me, my team is very small, but I know all of their strengths and weaknesses. For a different side quest, I would assign to a different person. But if you get to know your team and something big comes up, you know exactly the person to assign this particular task to. So that way, your team knows that you trust them to be doing this thing, but it's becomes a mutual thing, and it creates very good relationships amongst the team, and then it makes it a lot enjoyable because it's nothing serious. I always tell my team, nothing serious really, it's all fun. So collaboration is not just a process, it's actually a mindset that helps us get to innovation. And by empowering each other and embracing inclusive practices, we can transform our industry. And I encourage everyone here to champion collaboration in your respective roles. inspire those around you, and collectively maybe we can build a better future. So that's how I frame these things for myself, because you see me here now, but I don't know, someone else is watching, and then they're always watching what you do, and I have to embody good examples. And they sometimes they don't judge you as you, they also judge you by your team and the work that you produce. So always be thinking like that. uh, and if every day we do something to improve ourselves, one day we can achieve greatness. And then also the kind of environment that is very collaborative and always innovative, sort of like a very positive effect. It attracts like-minded people who are interested to work with you. And then also it brings all of the strengths to the table, because we've seen what everyone else is capable of. When it comes to next project or next endeavor, you know how to assemble your A team. So I'm going to close. So I'm just gonna close with a few statements. So just like OpenBeam fosters an interconnected, inclusive, and collaborative digital ecosystem, women in Beam, we are naturally wired to build strong, supportive communities like the panel of ladies who will be coming up later. We know each other, and so we drive the progress in our industry because we always talk and we share our ideas. And if you want to lead the future of digital bit environment, we need to continue doing what we do best. I think everyone here is very capable. Don't stop doing that. You're all valued. And then also to build the communities where we inspire, support, and innovate together. So with that, thank you.
Thank you, Siti, for your insightful presentation. I absolutely love that perspective. Collaborating with other roles can generate innovative ideas. And I love it when someone does come to you with an idea and brings a new perspective. And I really, truly appreciate your recommendations to all of us for how we can empower women in the industry and strategies for how we can collaborate and inspire. So now it's my pleasure to welcome a leader who's at the forefront of driving digital transformation in Kazakhstan. Zarina Kabzhan is a project management and digital transformation expert in the construction industry with over 10 years of experience in regulatory digitalization, standardization, and innovation adoption. She serves as the vice chairperson for buildingSMART Kazakhstan and leads initiatives on the OpenBIM implementation, construction regulation, and international collaboration. So in addition, Zarina is the head of construction management department at the Scientific Research Institute of Construction and Architecture, and she's currently pursuing her PhD in construction ontologies. Her academic background includes degrees in construction engineering and construction management, and she's held several international research positions. So I look forward to learning from her and her experience and listening to her insights. So please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Zarina.
Thank you, Renee. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be one of the speakers today, surrounded by so many leaders and visionaries who actually believe in collaborative power of transformation. When I started to prepare this presentation, I assumed that not many people in this auditorium have ever been in Kazakhstan. So I would like to welcome you to the short digital tour. Kazakhstan, located in the heart of Eurasia, connects East and West through its extensive transport corridors and evolving logistic infrastructure. This unique geopolitical position, reinforced by the rich history and diverse cultural heritage, shaped the country's modern identity as a rapidly developing hub for businesses and investment. Home to more than 130 ethnic groups who work together, exchange ideas, and collaborate. Our economic grounded on the natural resources is rapidly expanding in production and services through active digital technology adoption. In this context, the construction industry holds a particularly significant role, playing a key role in shaping urban environments and expanding infrastructure and creating new jobs, thereby driving further economic growth. So technology is transforming every industry, and Kazakhstan is keeping up. In his recent address, our president, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, underscored the importance of digitalization as a driving force of national progress. As a result, the government policy initiatives emphasize the technological development. For instance, the construction industry accounts 6 to 7% of GDP and employs over 600,000 people, and also saw 8.6% output increase in the last year. So it is clear that in this case, we need a digital technologies, and so that's how we arrive to the new BIM concept. Our journey with BIM has begun in 2015 when our scientific institution, backed by the government, initiated efforts to adopt BIM and create an digital infrastructure for construction industry. So 2 years later, in 2017, we took a next step forward by approving first official concept of BIM implementation, which introduced the principles of open BIM and ensure the data interoperability and also standardized processes. By this year, all accumulated experience combined with advances in AI, big data, and overall digitalization reflected in a new BIM concept. The goal of new BIM concept is to keep Kazakhstan construction industry aligned with the global best practices. So our overarching goal is clear. We would like to enhance informational management efficiency at every stage of construction project life cycle by achieving through systematic BIM application. To achieve that, we will make open BIM mandatory for all public investments. We will also establish unified construction platform, which will serve as a centralized data hub for all stakeholders. Beyond that, we will stimulate the market by training, by fundings and educational grants to widespread BIM adoption. We will also keep transitioning to the open data standards and open data formats to achieve the update of our national standards. So we all feel that the world is undergoing the rapid digital transformation, and BIM has already become a mandatory in many forward-thinking countries like the UK, Singapore, China, Spain, and many others. So for Kazakhstan, embracing BIM is crucial, not just to keep up with the global development, but also to control expenditures, which mean for us as financial responsibility and smarter budget management. By adopting BIM and related digital tools, we also open doors to the local digital solutions to IT startups, which will help us to build a homegrown ecosystem. The role of buildingSMART in this case is huge because our chapter, buildingSMART Kazakhstan, as a local developing chapter, was established in the last year only. But today it is already a major driving force behind the country's transition to open BIM standards. So additionally, we have a professional certification program, which actually equips our specialists with the practical skills and knowledges needed to adopt BIM. So Building Smart Kazakhstan stands as a key pillar of national evolution and helping shape future-ready construction industry in Kazakhstan. I believe that BIM flourish when all stakeholders, government agencies, designers, contractors are working together, co-create in unified ecosystem. And as a woman leader in this industry, my personal experience was also shaped by this very mindset. And my professional journey goes along with digital transformation in my country. So now I serve as the vice chair, Building Smart Kazakhstan, where I contribute to the development and adoption digital technologies in our industry. But I also doing PhD research in ontologies in construction, where I exploring how structured knowledge representation can enhance the regulatory and interoperability and the whole industry. So with experience in both industry and academia, I bring innovative solutions to Kazakhstan construction sector. And I try to seek not just a deeper understanding of the subject, but also I really welcome to collaborate with the researchers from around the world to work together, to share ideas, to inspire each other with fresh insights. At the same time, we don't just theorize our innovation, we actually build it by leading a pilot project using OpenBeam and case studies. We convert our vision into the practice. I believe that future of construction is not built alone. It's built and shaped those who are ready to collaborate, ready to innovate, and ready to lead. I would say without any doubt that the construction industry is entering a new era of transformation, and no longer we can rely on traditional methods alone. So we have to find a synergy between the cutting edge technology, skilled talent, and forward thinking culture, which will redefining how we build. When these elements reinforce each other, the result could be extraordinary. The projects are completed much more faster and efficiently. Teams are more engaged, and businesses become more competitive and resilient. So embracing this synergy is not just an operational change, it's already a strategic imperative for those who are going to lead in this modern construction landscape. So ask yourself, can technology alone transform the industry? The answers will be no, because it needs people and right environment to grow. So by uniting these transformative elements, we not only elevate our industry, but also inspire a new generation of leaders, empowering women to take a key roles and drive change, and also the shape future of our industry. So today, Kazakhstan is stepping confidently onto the global stage by aligning with the Collaborate and Inspire agenda. So this is our moment to lead, to innovate, and to build a better future together. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Zarina, for bringing us to Kazakhstan. Now I want to go and also sharing the country's BIM mandate and the journey with us. We will get started now with the panel discussion. Yeah. So I think we'll need a bit of time to set up. But I'll bring up our panelists. Yeah, as well. So, ladies, happy afternoon. So first, I would like to welcome all to this exciting panel discussion with some of our key female leaders in the field who really championing open BIM, embracing innovation here. I think we'll start with just kickstart with one of the questions here. Birgitta, maybe I'll start with you. Yeah. What are some of the key shifts that you're seeing happen now in the BIM and collaboration space?
Well, thank you for the question. Well, I see a couple of key shifts. One, of course, is through working with BIM, especially with open BIM, more transparency is coming into business. So, and also more reliability. The other shift I see is about the business model. You just mentioned it in the beginning, that we are more efficient, more effective. So this is changing the business models, how we calculate today. So this is a real big issue because most of the leaders, they are used to invest something and get immediately a return. But this is really, sometimes it's different. So which brings me to another shift when it comes to the leader themselves. They have to get used that they need other skills. So especially leaders, they don't need necessary technical skills, but they need more leadership skills, other leadership skills. And of course, we have heard it also already, interoperability is not just a technology, which we make more transparent through all the silos, but it's a human thing. It's a human factor we have to work on. So
yeah,
this
the
is
soft
my
skills are so important now,
yeah.
Right? Anyone else to add to that on what are some of the shifts that you're seeing? Okay. Maybe I'll throw a question. Maybe I'll throw a question to Siti. What are some of the strategies that you've really used to influence others to leverage new technology?
I think it's good to have some pre-engagement first to just test out what's the temperature like. And if that person's going to be or is going to be adversarial, then it'll take a bit more. So my strategy is always let's focus on the benefit. Take the emotions out. So I'll say this is going to cost this one, but ROI is 33% and lesser VOs. That usually is the trick. But yeah, if we focus on the benefits, then it's a lot easier to get past those barriers because then we have benefits, easier to justify, and it wouldn't be like secondhand news, right? Because it's fact, we will be getting these benefits, so let's get on with it. So that's usually my strategy.
Clear benefits to the tech. Rassida, I might throw one to you. How does Open BIM, and in your experience, how has it contributed to more collaboration between disciplines and maybe also across project phases?
Okay, one thing that Kandel is doing now is we have this one Kandel thing where we work as a company. So we get ideas and such from different regions. So this is actually enables us to collaborate and get ideas from different regions because what we are doing here may not, or rather what UK is doing may not what we are doing here. So get ideas from around the region is actually very useful. That is for me, that is, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Having a global organization similar to buildingSMART, where you can capture ideas across the whole globe and really utilize that, I think there's huge benefits when we work outside of our jurisdictions.
Definitely.
Zarina, for you, how has Open BIM really supported more inclusive and more diverse project ecosystems inside of Kazakhstan? Like you shared a little bit about it. Can you expand some
Yeah,
more?
sure. So, as we all know, the construction is quite man dominated industry. So, especially in Kazakhstan, which is like eastern country, and as quite hard to get leading position for women, and also is not only for women, as also for the new generation of specialists, like the young specialists. But in my opinion, the open beam is quite eliminated these traditional barriers, because if you are skilled enough and maybe you don't have like so much experience, but you still can get like a better position, and you can contribute to the project, which quite you know, quite good experience, and for example, new project as we doing using open beam, we actually contribute in developing in like all country. So I think that is first and foremost as eliminating the barriers when you enter it in the profession. So that's.
So what about so those are some of the benefits of open BIM, but what about the challenges? Anyone have a good challenge? I see you nodding.
I can chime in.
Yeah.
Um, because in this industry, we don't work within this country itself. We are collaborating with other people from different time zones, right? And the standards out there, it's the way they see the construction or they deliver the construction is very different, and to collaborate with them, it's a bit of a challenge. And I think the common language is helps us to exchange the ideas and collaborate in in a proper way.
Birgitta, you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, maybe just like to add another thing. I completely agree about this is a challenge to work together over countries and even continents. That's a real challenge. The other thing I see is the issue which comes through the transformation itself. So that's a real challenge. So change, we have heard this today quite often. It's about liability, it's about who is responsible for what information. So this is, once again, both sides. It's a technical thing. So can I trust the data I get? But the other thing is the organizational structure of my company ready to share? Am I allowed to share? So this is pure transformation. This is a pure challenge, and it's a combination. So what I've learned through that over the years I'm now in the business is don't try to eat the elephant in one bite. You never will be successful. So, and it has been mentioned today also, get a network, get out and let help, get out, give your needs a voice. And there's definitely someone on this planet who can help.
What do you see when any of the panelists, what do you see when it comes to openness and diversity in BIM as females in the industry?
I had this conversation with one of the male professional, and he's from Australia. And then he told me why we are talking about diversity. It's already there. You see women in leadership role, they are there. And I was like, it's not the number. It's not about the number. And it's not just about the female versus male. And you have to see in the context of Asian market. And when you talk about Asian in general are very introverts. In my team, we do have 50-50 male and female ratio, all come from different backgrounds, different countries. And when they see the diversity in the team, they feel that they belong to this team. And when you have this kind of diversity, each brings something on the plate. And even the 1%, I always say, even the 1% of idea counts. Because if I have 20 members in my team, the 1% adds up to the 20%. It's a big amount. And a very good example, I will say, initial years, I worked in Oman, and you will be surprised to know I was the only female in the office, and the 99% were male. And I tell you that I didn't feel myself, and I didn't felt encouraged and to carry over this profession forward. But I think I'm lucky enough to come to Singapore, and where um, uh, the company ADAS, they do promote a female equally. They do not just female, anyone who are talented are respected equally.
Phil isn't talking.
What else do you think needs to be done in the open BIM space to really drive the next wave of change? Maybe Sumon, you can share a bit.
I think for me, not everybody in this industry are aware of open BIM, so we need to make more educational training and support. For example, like reaching out to local authority like BCA, and all the software vendor can make a training program to get the knowledge of the open BIM. If some of the company, for example, like small company, if they are struggling with how to navigate the open BIM, they can reach out to the local authority as well as reach out to any of the senior person. Yeah, I think having a voice is quite important. So if you need any help, you can like reach out to other person. Yeah. So I think for open BIM, we need to make it more awareness in this industry. Yeah, that's what I'm
Rasida,
believing.
you want to add on?
Yeah.
I think it's our job to advocate. So to add to what you're saying, yes, it's correct. But and then we have to advocate for everything because it's what we do. So there are some clients who probably doesn't want to go to this step because funding or they don't want it. But so it's our job to advocate and let them understand. Yeah, so that is one of the challenges also that we are facing. Having the clients doesn't want to go forward with digitalizations or BIM itself because it takes too much time, it takes too much money. Yeah, but again, we have to advocate them to make them see that it doesn't really with the right techniques, with the right softwares, it doesn't really take a lot of time, and you can actually shorten up the fundings, and such.
So how can some of like the new innovations, what do you guys think will further enhance like open BIM collaborations, like whether it's AI or cloud platforms or a lot of discussion around smart cities and digital twins? What's next?
Well, I guess it's the combination. Things are coming together, and it's coming together very fast from a technology point of view. But is it coming together from a human point of view? So I think this is always the challenge. I'm an architect by training. I have an architect company, and my colleagues, architects mainly, but also engineers, they asked, well, are we needed in future? So this is a big concern. And I think there's also still a misunderstanding about what is open BIM, what is BIM at all, what is CRD. So there's a lot of misunderstanding. So once again, it's training, it's information, it's raising the awareness on each side, on every side, on the client side, but on the client side, over the whole life cycle. And I think this is the advocate, like you mentioned, but also being an ambassadors. Ambassadors go out to the industry, talk to the industry, talk about the things which haven't been funny, share also the negative things, because this is authentical, but then start to talk about the things we can do. And this brings me to strengthen the cross-sector collaboration as well. It's not just our industry, it's things coming together. You talked about AI. So what about climate data? It's whole information which we can bring together. And this brings me also to the other point on the regulatory side, which is also one thing which we can help each other, because there are countries who are maybe a little bit more advanced and others who are a little bit more shy and waiting. So let's start sharing. So I think the example of Kazakhstan is a very nice one, because you're pretty new, you have fresh eyes, you take everything you can get. So it's exactly what I'd like to see, much more than we have it today. And this is also just to mention it for those in the room. We have a challenge for tomorrow. It's the Sustainable Development Challenge, which is a shared session between women in BIM and buildingSMART. And I really like to invite you to join the session. It's my colleague Sineb Faik and I will do the moderation, but it's an interactive session. It's not like today presentations. You have to work. You have to raise your voice. You have to bring insights in this session. So please join us.
I think to add to that is also businesses. Your business model will change in the future, and then if we look at the global trends and what people want to do at their jobs, it will also challenge the way we deliver our work as well as a collective, right? So what works for today might not work for tomorrow, and we have to look at what we can do in the future, and then maybe open BIM is the way to go, because we don't really have borders right now. Like I'm in Singapore, but I work on projects like all the way in Africa, and the way to share information it's different, right? So you need to be on cloud, and you cannot just work on the Singapore standards. And then what next? So it changes. So I'm doing BIM, but I'm also servicing BIM for other clients in other parts of the world. So what I do in my little island in Singapore doesn't work. So I have to adapt, and that's where open BIM comes in. So in the future, I think that also answers to what other service offerings businesses can do.
Real global talent pool
Yes.
at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, on the only thing you can actually say that something that is constant is change. So the industry is keep on bringing up new stuff. We have the best of the best collaborative platform right now, and we should now think about how we can use it to the best. And definitely AI will be, it's there, but it needs more refinement. And I hope it will be more refined and will be more user friendly and easier in every for every stakeholders, like not just for the designer or not just for the contractors, even the the document controller or the site people. I think it's there. It's need more refinement.
Just like to add one thing, and I really hope it's becoming true, because maybe you have seen the numbers in the morning. 41% of the workers will step down within the next 5 years. So it's a huge number. And I think just looking at that number and seeing the challenges, well, how can we work better and more efficient? This is how we can do it. So I think this is quite easy to adopt if we go back to the numbers.
I have this joke that we will see an AI architect, an AI contractor, and an AI client, and then they will all talk to each other in like computer language instead of human language. But I think it's a real potential for AI to enhance what you do, right? And to make them more tedious things easier to be done, right? I guess I only have one last question, but maybe I think if all of you could answer, that would be really wonderful. And what is one of the key sort of changes or initiatives that you would like to see this audience take as the next step in terms of the open BIM industry and in terms of the work that you're doing right now?
I think for me, it's about how data can be applied to other parts of the business. So how can we get data to my operations guy? How can I get data to back to my supplier who is providing me with materials? So things like that. And we involve more people from the supply chain. So it's the full supply chain involvement and the sharing of data. I think that's something that I'm trying to do. Uh, I mean, it's the mechanism is all there, right? We're all working on the cloud. We all have contracts, and we all know our roles and responsibilities. Now it's about what's good for the project, what's good for the business, and then we share like what do you need? Do you need something from here? And then from there you will get to some form of AI. But right now, if we don't get the data sorted, we won't get anywhere, right? So yeah, I'm starting from there first.
So a recommendation to get your data in order today.
From my perspective, I really like the thoughts that OpenBeam itself, it's already about philosophy of diversity and building smart as a champion in equal opportunity, as you can see today. So I think the key step to gain the diversity and to gain the success in this profession, it's better to participate in this kind of program initiatives. For example, just like Open Women in BIM does, like mentorship programs, and there is also many others program you can to be involved, and also the project to contribute knowledges. And I love the saying when people say that women in construction, we don't really have to crush the walls. We better to design the doors in it. So I think the door will be collaboration and inspire each other and help each other to gain our main goals.
I think for me, the most important thing right now to do the open BIM is like communicating with each other and sharing knowledge because you don't know what you don't know. So having a voice is quite important, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah. So attending this kind of conference and attending the workshop is kind of like open knowledge for everybody, including myself. That's all from me.
Well, it's a good question. What is the takeaway from today? I always think in maybe question, what if? I like to address the what if question. What if we'd like to have a better world in the future for all the next generation? What do we need to change today? And I think this is where open BIM, open standards, open formats, but also the humans can support each other. So what if we don't do? What would be the next one?
For me, I would still say I would like to advocate the engineers itself, how open BIM can actually open up to, again, have a different view to them. Because currently what I'm seeing is they are doing one thing and we're doing one thing. But I think with proper collaboration and communication, open BIM can actually do something useful for the projects and have a better view to the engineers, project managers who doesn't actually understand what is open BIM. Yeah.
I think what you have said, we should be the ambassadors of open BIM, and to back that, I am planning to bring one of my colleague tomorrow for the certification. I want her to attend the Women in BIM workshop. And I think that's where you start from the bottom up. You have to teach or mentor your juniors and to make them aware of. I know about OpenBeam for a while, but my juniors don't. So I want them to understand, because if my team doesn't know about OpenBeam, I cannot, promise to deliver a project using an OpenBeam. So yeah.
So learn more, attend more conferences, and really think of the what if and the world that we want to create. Very wonderful. Thank you all. So a huge thank you to our panelists for sharing their expertise, their thoughts, their experiences. I think all of your insights on collaboration, on diversity, and on the digital technology space, it's given me a lot of things to think about and to really see how I can take that back to my own project teams. And it's a rare chance that we get an all-female panel. So really, thank you so much for your candor, your insights, your sharing. And audience, thank you for your attention. Hopefully this conversation has sparked some ideas, and I'm sure everyone would love to continue these kind of conversations off stage, and I would as well. But the panelists, I think what we're going to do now is we want to take a group photo. So actually, I'm calling everyone who's in the audience actually up here to take a picture before we wrap up for today. Yeah. So I think panelists stand, and I'm not sure how this part is going to work, but